Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tek Torrent Podcast. This is podcast number 15 of the year. How is everyone doing? We got a great show for you guys tonight. We got water blocks that cost more than a 3060. We got a Ryzen 5800X3D. Well, it goes live. That's going to be interesting. Elon Musk tweet and TED Talk. And of course, Microsoft, always trying to make money, wants to put ads in your games. All that in here on the Tek Torrent Podcast. And of course, I am joined today by our one and only Andrew. How are you doing, Mr. Andrew?
Hey, man, it's good to be back. You know, last week I had some things to take care of.
Some things?
So,
some bodies to get rid of?
You know, some personal things. So
personal bodies. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, we got some good things to talk about. Pretty exciting stuff in the tech world, you know.
Yeah, we got a lot of awesome stuff today. Lots happened this week, actually.
Yeah.
Let's just go to chat real quick. So we got Little Time Mining. How you doing? John Z, thanks for coming by. John, you are always here, so I will always call you out. New England Crypto, how you doing this evening? It's not like I haven't seen you in a long time, man. It's been 2.5 hours since I last saw you. We'll talk about that in a moment. Soul7, how you doing? And again, thank you, Soul7, for being a YouTube TekShinji loyal follower. Appreciate it so much. Thank you for being a member. We got Dave Collins. How you doing, Dave? We got MH. We got Teaspoon. Oh, haven't seen you in a while, Teaspoon. Thanks for joining us. And yep, that's everyone I see in chat. If you are here, let me know in chat. Say hi. All that good stuff. So before we get into our topics for tonight, I'm just going to talk about a few personal things. So the move is going well. I am scheduled to close at the end of the month. I got the clear to close. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that last week. So we are organizing all the logistics of that and getting the studio moved out and things like that. Me and Andrew actually went to New England Crypto's house this morning, and we actually filmed some content. And, you know, we had some hiccups, as we always do at anything, actually. But we made it work, and it was a lot of fun. And Andrew, do you remember that? I know it was a couple of hours ago. You might have forgotten by now.
Yeah, man, I remember something. I was kind of in a daze most of the day. It seems like I don't really know how I got there. I don't really know how I got home. But, yeah, no, it's ringing some bells.
You did give me a ride from the charging station, so you should at least remember that part.
Vaguely. Yeah, man, that was a fun time, man. You know, like you said, some hiccups for sure. You know, not just in mining, but just in general, like tech is unpredictable sometimes. And it's no matter what it is, it's borderline broken. You know, if it works, it's one thing away from being broken. So, you know, and that's kind of the problems you run into. You got to figure out what that one thing is if it isn't working. To me, I like the challenge, though. It's kind of fun to troubleshoot that, unless it's mission critical, and then it's extremely, extremely frustrating.
Like a server that you can't ever turn off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then everyone's TikToks will get delayed. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun this morning visiting New England Crypto and got to see his family and played with some of his computers and kind of got to see a little taste of his phone farm. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean... make sure you guys get subscribed and all that good stuff. Andrew, if you don't mind finding New England Crypto's channel and dropping it in the live chat, I'd really appreciate it. He's a great guy, and both on camera and in person, he's a very straight up dude, and we don't see that much around these days. So that was kind of nice to see a normal guy. One day he'll become famous, and you know maybe he'll change. But till that day, he's a great guy. I'm just joking. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did some content. I'm not gonna spoil it too much. There's some problems, but we figured them out, and we actually changed the whole theme of what we planned. It didn't happen, so we actually kind of pivoted and made a whole different video, which, you know, that's where the experience comes in for sure. Yeah, so guys, if you want to get subscribed to New England Crypto, that video will be out probably sometime close to the end of the month to the beginning of next month. Just an estimate. It might come out earlier or sooner depending on our schedule. One last personal thing from me before we move on. If you guys have been watching the channel, know that I like to go to trade shows and conventions and stuff like that. Well, if you are in the New England area, Boston or something like that, come by and see me. I will be at PAX East next week. Yes, that's right. It will be next week. I will be there all days of the show, and I'll be there 2 days before and a day after the show. So if you're in the area, hit me up, message me in the Discord. By the way, our Discord is linked in the description of this video. Go ahead, hit me up over there, and we can hang out, have dinner, whatever. I'll be at the show. I'll be working, but if you're there, come by and say hi. We could take a picture or whatever. I can't give out stickers because of show rules, but when I'm out of uniform, I could definitely give you one. So come by and say hello if you're in the area. And if you guys don't know, PAX is a video game convention. Yeah, so that's all that's really going on with me. Let's look at chat real quick, and then I'll go back to you, Andrew, and then we'll move on to topics. So let's take a look at chat. Soul7 says, works for me. Hung up on the wife for this. Oh. Are you? Oh no.
Boy.
Oh no. Oh no. We're not worth it, man. We are not worth it. Don't. Man. Oh no, man. She's gonna. Oh no, that's not good. Like my heart just dropped right there. Well, Soul7, we appreciate you being here. Let your wife know we also appreciate it a lot, because when she's hitting you over the head. Wait, are you offshore today? Yeah, if you are, maybe that's why. If you're offshore, I guess you can't. By the time you get back, she might have forgotten. Wait, no, women don't forget anything, do they? Let's see. Dave Collins says, no wife, no kids, no life, just mining, so got plenty of time to watch here. Well, Dave, we thank you for coming by, man. Appreciate it, dude. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chat. Soul7 says, New England crypto, Shinji got to meet Stella. Yeah, I got to meet Stella. Stella's his daughter, and I also got to meet his wife as well. They're all wonderful people, great people. Nice property too. We didn't really have a lot of time to go check out the place, but maybe in a future video. Jay Kling says, hey, good luck with the move. Love the channel. A fan too. Impressed with your water cooling solutions. Thank you, Jay Kling. Thanks so much for actually joining us here live. I appreciate you being here, man. I don't think I've seen you before. If you've been here before or something and changed your name, just let me know. I just haven't seen your name before. I'm sure you've been here a lot though. Yeah, so New England Crypto says she was walking around with her little camera taking pictures. There's actually some reels and stuff on Instagram. Here at New England, what I will do this, and then you can post a link to that thing, the reels and stuff. Yeah, R. Martin, how you doing, man? Welcome. Yeah, all right. So, Andrew, what's going on with you this week?
Well, one thing that needs to be followed up on.
Oh, yes.
I'll just say, do you know what this is?
I know exactly what that is, my friend. That is, in fact, a fan. I don't even know if it is, but I know what that is. That fan goes on the chipset on a motherboard.
Actually, this one cools the MOSFET heatsink.
Okay, it's a motherboard fan.
This is the VRM fan.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's right. You got a Threadripper.
And this is the chipset fan.
Yes.
So,
you took the heatsink off, too.
Yeah. Heatsink was required to come off because the fan goes through the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
I'm feeling there's a story to this.
No, actually, everything turned out better than expected.
Wow.
So,
okay.
After 4 weeks of not hearing from Gigabyte through that email chain.
Only, okay.
I called them up.
Oh.
And I said, hey, listen to me. I'd really like your help. And they said, what can I do for you? I said, here's my reference number, all this. I had a case. I was in contact with the Gigabyte support via email about getting these fans sent to me. And then I replied with the pictures of the fans I needed. No reply. A week later, I replied again with the pictures and said, hey, didn't get a reply last week. Let's try this again. Still no reply. And then 4 weeks later, I was, giving them a chance and whatever. 4 weeks later, I call, and this is where we were. And they said, "Oh yeah, I see we have those emails, and that we didn't get back to you. Sorry, we've been a little bit busy." And I say,
was
"Okay,
that really
all right,
their
whatever."
excuse?
They actually said that, yeah.
Wow.
Because, I'm sure I was next in line.
Of course.
So they said, "Yeah, let me reach out to the parts team and see if we have those in stock. If so, we'll try and get those sent out." Within a couple days, they said, "All right, they're on my desk and they're going to be shipping out. Look for a tracking number, soon." I never got a tracking number, but they showed up. So, still good. Those are the old ones. I've actually swapped them out already.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a chore to do. Probably like 20 screws in total, and all different kinds, all different sizes. Because it's a motherboard with back armor that needs to come off. That's like 9 screws. The chipset is 4 screws. The fan on the chipset heatsink is like 3 screws, which I didn't need to remove because they sent the whole assembly, but I removed it before to send them the pictures of the fan I needed. But all in all, man, besides the weight, which I thought is, completely excessive and unnecessary.
Of course.
I'm glad that they had the fans in stock and were able to send them to me. Waiting. The main reason I wanted them to send the fans was so that I wouldn't have to send in the board and have extra downtime.
Mm-hmm.
But I waited 4 weeks for the fans to come in, so it's kind of, yeah.
So you didn't really fix your problem.
I didn't really fix my problem because I had to break down the board to take pictures of the fans to send them pictures for them to send me the fans.
Oh my God. Like a cat and mouse game.
Yeah. But it's done. It's completely done. The board has 2 new fans, which is awesome. The board's only like 18 months old, so it's a little disappointing at the fans. The chipset fan was really bad, like just completely shot. And the thermal paste on it was like a piece of bubble gum. It was like a hard, it was basically, it felt like plastic. And when I was cleaning it off, thinking I was going to reuse the old heatsink, I had to basically chisel it off. You know what I mean? It was like that kind of paste where like I rubbed it with a Q-tip and alcohol and the Q-tip stayed clean. It wasn't, it wasn't wiping off. So it came off in pieces. But anyway, that's all done. I cleaned off the new thermal paste on the new heatsink, put actual Noctua thermal paste. So we should be good going forward with that. Rig should be good. Yeah, I just wanted to follow up because I know I had mentioned that story a few weeks prior.
About a month and a half ago.
Times, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like all year.
Yeah, at the beginning, in the middle, and now it's the end. So I'm done with Gigabyte customer service for the time being.
All right, for the time being, until when, something else breaks. And I don't know. So my opinion, I feel like the Aorus division of Gigabyte and Gigabyte are like 2 different companies with the same name. It is like so different.
Really?
Well, okay, so like I've had Aorus products from Gigabyte and they're like really good, actually. Like their motherboards, I've had 2 Gigabyte Aorus motherboards and they're actually made really nice. Then I've had Aorus graphics cards and I'm like, okay, this is decent. It's cool. It's not as good as like EVGA or something, but it's good. Then I get like a Gigabyte Eagle or, their lower tier whatever. And it's like, man, what company made this? Obviously not
I think in terms of the motherboards, Gigabyte makes some of the cheapest boards you can get and also some of the most expensive, and there is definitely a difference in quality. The one I have, despite being Threadripper, it's not a particularly high-end board. It's definitely not entry-level because like they just don't make something that should be $40 on this platform. Mm-hmm. But it's like they made an Aorus version as well, so this is not the Aorus. But in terms of the quality, I think in terms of like the PCB and stuff like that, I think it's usually pretty good. It's in this case, it was like the fans they cheaped out on. It doesn't have like any special LAN. It's just gigabit LAN, which would have been nice to have something higher on a I think this was like $600 new motherboard. Because it existed, that technology. You know, there were boards out there with 10 gig or 2.5 at least network interfaces.
Yeah, so, already built into the motherboard.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, like the Eagle line of cards, not bad, but you're not getting any extras by any means. And if you compare two cards at the same price point or two motherboards at the same price point, I think that's where you start to see what you're not getting. It's not that you're getting like a piece of, you know, trash, but it's just like someone else might give you some extra features at that same price.
True. But like, I don't know. Doesn't it seem like the quality level is just too different to be the same company?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get it though.
It's like Ferrari selling a Toyota Camry. Like, that's just too different. You know what I mean? No, that's not even a good example. Okay, it's like Ferrari selling a Volkswagen Beetle from the 1940s. Like no, literally it's not like, a good car.
It's like a Volkswagen versus like the Lamborghini, which is like kind of like a partner company, but like completely a different company. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they're both both cars.
Yeah, exactly. So there's definitely some differences. Like this isn't an ours, so I think there are differences between the cheap and expensive Gigabyte products for sure.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a lot more. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
I'm not going.
I insist. All right, so I think there's just a big quality difference. That's all between the two.
Well, see, I've run the cheap AM4 motherboards. Like I've had a couple of those as far back as B350, B450, DS3H, I think, the micro ATX boards. And there's nothing special about them, but in my case, they worked fine. In one case, I had one break, which was kind of a weird thing. Like, I had built a computer with that board, sold it, shipped it to someone, and they were like, yeah, man, it doesn't turn on. I was like, I'm sorry to hear that. Sounds like the motherboard. Send the board back to me. I'm going to send you a new one. And Gigabyte ended up RMAing that, no problem. I'm not really sure what happened, if it was a shipping issue or a weird fault, but in that case, Gigabyte support was much more quick to respond to my concerns. But in any case, I've never had them just leave me hanging, except, you know, like in emails. But
so they don't ghost you. They just take a long time to get back to you.
Yeah, they don't deny my claims. They're not like, oh yeah, we're not fixing that, user damage, which you know, Asus, I've heard, you know, is like, oh yeah, man, someone took a hammer to your pins, must have been you, sorry. Good day.
Don't pull a Newegg.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm actually going to do a return with Newegg pretty soon.
Well, good luck to you, sir.
We'll see how that goes. I'll document it if it doesn't go well.
They're going to be like, I'm sorry, you sent us a brick, we're sending it back.
All right. Do you have anything else personal going on, Andrew?
No, not really. That should cover it for this week.
Okay. All right. So I want to talk about, as you know, fans of the channel, if you guys have been watching, you guys know that I am a water cooling enthusiast. I love pouring distilled water on my electronics. It's great. I mean, it's non-conductive, right? So it's totally... No, I'm joking. It's not. Don't do that. The water itself is not conductive, but the stuff in it is what makes it conductive, like dust. So don't do that. Let me look at chat real quick, and then we'll move on to our first topic of the night. Yeah, so I made some of you guys moderators because we're getting a little bit more traffic these days. And we made, I picked the 3 that are in here at the moment that are kind of pretty active. And, you know, you guys have been kind of known to make yourselves, you know, reliable. Maybe not, maybe that's too strong of a word. Maybe like present. Yeah, you guys have been pretty good in the community, so I went ahead and made you guys moderators here. We don't need them in a Discord yet, but soon we're going to need moderators, so... let's see. Dodgeball. Remember the scene in Dodgeball where he's like, if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball, or something like that? I think that's what they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I think that's what they're talking about in chat.
No, I know, but where did that come from? I don't know.
There's a comment With great power comes
Okay.
great responsibility. What the? Guess I can't dodge a ball since a wrench stuck to me. That's what I thought. That's what I thought they were referring to. Winzard says, found your Mower 3 video. Oh, thanks so much, man. That was a good video. That was a lot of fun. That was definitely a lot of fun.
That was a great video.
Yeah,
that was a great video.
We got, okay.
And honestly, a great product.
Yes, very well built. Unlike some other companies that just make a flashy product, this was actually like good quality. Like, that's coming from me.
And QC as well. Like, they don't ship that unless it's, it's ready to go. It's perfect. Other companies will just scratch and dent, send it like it's brand new.
Yeah, use us. Like,
then,
if we complain, they'll do something about it. It's cheaper just to get us to complain. Yeah,
exactly.
If you guys don't know, I also tweeted something. I got something from Heat Killer. It was under
Water.
Go ahead.
Water Cool.
Yeah, Water Cool, which is a parent company. Heat Killer is like the division brand.
That's the line of blocks they make.
That's the line of products. I got something from Water Cool. It's their, I know it's a little late. It's their new For the Win 3 3090, not Ti, 3090 water blocks for the back of the cart and the front of the cart. And man, I think it's heavy. Video on that coming out probably after we move. Huh?
Are we gonna have a weigh and a measure?
We're gonna have a weigh and measure. That's my thing, man. We're gonna weigh and measure everything. We're gonna weigh and measure me one day, and everyone's gonna stop watching. Yeah, so I got that. The water cool products are very high quality, and that really leads.
Yeah, and Water Cool, just again, that's the brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're not talking about water cooling products. We're talking about a brand called Water Cool that makes high-end water cooling products. And honestly, I've bought their products before. I've been a big fan of them because they're kind of boutique, but they give you like a white glove treatment sometimes. Like, their products are like they're almost like showpieces.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, like, I would not be surprised if they got like like when they're inspecting cars off the assembly line with like white gloves, checking for I wouldn't be surprised if they did that on the products that go out the door. Like, they're high-end stuff, not like their brackets or screws, like their mowers. And like, when I got that,
but that's the other thing.
Yeah.
When you order a radiator, it comes with stainless screws.
Yes. Oh my God. Like,
The little things.
yeah. So that's equivalent to like when you buy a car and the handles are made out of metal, because those are going to break. I don't know whose idea was to make them out of plastic. Like, we all know they're going to break. Yeah. The stainless screws are a really nice touch. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually leads right into my first topic of the night. Talking about a product from EKWB, which is kind of a competitor. EKWB is a much bigger company. They're both in not the United States. EKWB is in Slovenia, and Watercool is in Germany, I want to say. So EKWB just came out with a new product. Well, of course they're going to come out with this. It's the special edition water block for the 3090 Ti Founders Edition. Now, what makes this special? I don't know. It's heavy. It's literally like a really nice, polished off looking piece of, copper with aluminum like casing. And it looks pretty sweet, but there's one problem. So, MSRP right now, pre-order, it's available on EKWB's website, is $375. Okay? I just looked it up. Shipping to the United States is anywhere between $35 to $45. So, it's $375 for the water block. Then I'm going to pay $35 to $45. So it's around, let's call it $420. $420.
Yeah.
So $420 for a water block at the end of the day.
I think the 3090 Founders Edition block was $350, I believe, MSRP.
It was something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not,
I had one, but I never ended up installing it.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you get rid of it or something?
Yeah, I sold it like recently just because I don't have any intention of doing a custom loop. But in terms of the quality, I was like, wow, this is nice, because I had from the company Bixki, BYSKI, I think. I had their water block for the 3090 Founders Edition as well. So these were 2 blocks for the exact same card, but the EK one was like twice as heavy. It was insane.
God, don't get me started, dude. Do not get me started.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. But the build quality, way better. The finish, way better. I'm sure performance would be marginally better. But still,
maybe.
It was a premium product. The biggest thing on the non-TI products in terms of water cooling, I think, is if they include a backplate, how good is the included backplate? So that's one thing I noticed. The Bixby one was basically a flat piece of aluminum, while the EK one was carved out to have more surface area and was heavier to begin with. So that's one difference. But yeah, this is the 3090 Ti. Backplate is less of a concern for cooling the card because all of the major heat producing components are on the front side.
Yes. And for those of you that want to know, it appears that the special edition does come with a backplate, which kind of makes up for some of the cost. Okay. But if you wanted another...
I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Because if you're buying this thing, you need a backplate effectively.
Yeah, because the 3090...
I know you don't technically need one. You could run your card without a backplate.
Yeah, but it'll look ugly.
You're not going to.
No.
It needs to be included.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree. I do. So
yeah,
I'm only like maybe taking off $25 because this backplate's included. Because realistically,
yeah,
it's just a piece of metal with some cutouts to prevent a short. And in effect, this isn't really doing that much for cooling in this particular case. Okay, it is dissipating some heat. Yes, it's got a hybrid touch or whatever. So if you wanted a different color backplate, well, guess how much those are? Andrew, just guess. Take a guess.
Hybrid, like a water cooled backplate?
No. They don't make water cooled backplate for the 3090 Ti. If you just wanted the backplate, so. A different color one.
Oh, just the backplate.
Yeah, if you want to just buy one separately, like black one, because yours come with silver.
I think maybe if you just want the backplate, a fair price might be like $50.
Sorry, people like you are too poor. Please leave. Please get out of this store. We don't want your kind here. You can go down to Macy's and buy a $50 backplate. You obviously don't belong in this store. Thank you.
It's just a piece of metal, though.
It's a precision piece of metal. Okay, so the backplate. Sorry, the backplate is $65.99.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Like
right?
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I know what you're saying, but it also wouldn't have surprised me if they were like $100.
Yes and no. Please. Yes.
So is this marketed strictly as a Founders Edition block?
Yeah, so right now it is only... Actually, the special editions have only been for the Founders Edition, I believe, because of the design.
Because the reason I say is I thought that the 3090 Ti Founders Edition was the reference design for other brands, whether they chose to use it or not. So that's something I haven't really seen much because there aren't that many 3090 Ti's in the wild. Basically, the only ones I've seen, other than your Founders Edition, is like the 3090 Ti for the Win 3.
Yeah, so I can confirm that it is not the same. The Strix one, the Supremx one, and mine, and the HOF, the Hall of Fame from Galax, are all different. The motherboards aren't the same. And I don't know if there is going to be a reference one for this edition because we're so at the end of the cycle. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense.
That goes back to the price of this block. It's like, well, we're only going to make about 50 of them. We'll hope to sell them, No, like
so, really.
Like the tooling they need to make these blocks. It's a process. They need to design these blocks. There is money invested, even if it's not in materials. It's the design. And they're not going to sell that many because by the time people are buying these things to do like super custom builds, that the number of people that do that is small to begin with. But a lot of people are going to wait for the next generation rather than spend, $2,000 in this case, because it's a Founders Edition, $2,000 on a card plus $400 for water cooling. Like,
well, just
if you're
for the block.
Spend $2,400
just for the block.
Yeah, so $2,400 for the card and block. And then
another 500 for the water cooling.
Right. So then why not just, if you're going to spend that much, I don't know, man. I don't know. For me,
like,
I would.
Go ahead.
No, I would be waiting for the next generation because we already know this is the tail end. Like, if I'm not getting a card that I'm happy to use out of the box, I'm not getting a card. I'm not going to get a card and say, oh yeah, let's spend what, 2,000. Let's spend an extra 20% on a water block.
Hey, look,
that won't really do much.
You're kind of really cutting into me right here because I
hey, wait a sec. No, I got nothing against the 3090 Ti, but I have something against spending that much more to make it quote unquote better. Speaking of, real quick, how are the acoustics on the Founders Edition since you've owned it?
It's loud.
Yeah, so you're hearing it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Any idea, like, have you taken notice of what the percentage of fan speed you've hit is?
So if I want to maintain 70 degrees on the memory, specifically, at 100% in about 75 degrees ambient, 70 degree ambient.
Okay, well, that's really low for memory.
If I have it at 85 or 95, it's about 50%, 50 to 75%.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. That's not bad at all.
You can't hear it.
Well,
you can hear it, but it's not like, so right now it's at full throttle like all the time because I want those memory temps down in the floor.
I mean, I've had a similar cooler on other Founders Editions. Yeah, once you hit like 60% fan, you start to hear it. Once it's at 80, you're like, wow, that's loud.
Yeah.
When it hits 100, you're like, oh my God, I need to turn this thing down.
So the Founders Editions, for those of you that don't know, in the 3000 series, at least on the higher end cards, the fan closest to the bracket is a blower style. So just pretend that section is a blower. It's just a blower. The one out toward the end is actually all fan. There's no PCB there, okay? And
all heatsink,
all heatsink and fan. That fan is a loud one. If you in the computer you can individually control them. That's the one you want spinning like not that fast. That thing is loud and obnoxious because it makes like a high pitched like noise. The other one just kind of is like a lower pitch noise. It's the high pitched noises that are really annoying. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, there's fans that spin at 2,500 RPM that are quieter than those at like 1,500. They're just loud fans.
I mean, look at the Noctua NF25s. 2,000 RPM. It's like a nice low, like it sounds like your air duct in the ceiling. It doesn't, not high pitched.
I don't even think it's the fan specifically, but the air traveling through those fins is, just whatever resistance it's going through. And then, not to mention, like if you have a CPU heatsink above it, it's just pushing air right into that and crashing into it effectively. That makes noise.
Yeah, it does. I would argue like most of the noise out of a fan is turbulence, not the actual movement. Because they've actually did an example where they took a fan and they put like a grill on it and it got wicked loud, and they took a different design of the fan, put the grill on it, and it still wasn't that loud because of turbulence. Y2K Anonymous, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining the stream. General Granger, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining the stream.
I did see Soul7 asking, is it better to call Gigabyte or email them for support?
What do you think, Andrew? What was your experience like?
I think definitely once you have an RMA number, I think don't be afraid to nag them on the phone. Get the RMA number because that's a basically automatic process. You open a ticket and someone should get you an RMA number, and it seems like they do that pretty quickly.
Okay.
Once you have that, if you're waiting on them for anything, whether that's shipping information so you can, or like whatever you need to send your product into them, I would call them. And if you have a question, I think it's better to be documented on the phone, because the email, here's the thing with the email, I called them after the email and they were like, oh yeah, I see that. I'm going to respond to you just to confirm that we've got that email so that, it's confirmed. The email I got confirming that was from the same guy I was talking to. So it seems like he's the one who dropped the ball, but and also the one who picked up the phone. So it was just kind of funny. But yeah, to make the ticket and get the RMA number is the easy part of the process. You can do that online. anything further, if you're having any issue or not hearing from them, absolutely call them, because they picked right up and basically solved my problem that day. Whether or not, like, they weren't able to ship everything out that day, obviously, for obvious reasons, but they were addressing my problem instantly once they picked up the phone.
Because it was brought to their attention.
And because it was literally them who was supposed to be doing it.
You know, it makes you wonder, right? There's got to be like some kind of system where they have like a leaderboard, whatever, of tickets that come in.
Yeah, or like
it's not like
an
they
alert
didn't
that
know.
goes off, like, this email, this person hasn't been responded to in 5 days.
Yeah, like, I mean, the post office has that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And they're like the most archaic, not archaic, they're pretty advanced now, but like the United States Postal Service has that system to where they know exactly who didn't get their mail that day, right? It's not a mystery to them. They know exactly the reason why and who and why you didn't get your mail. When you call them up, they already know. They're already working on it, you know? So like,
yeah,
why
there should be a priority tier system based on how long it's been since someone got a reply.
Yeah, like if it's taking a long time, maybe, I mean, I don't know, make that a priority.
Maybe he's the only guy who works at Gigabyte, and that's why he has not even the support. He makes all the cards, all the motherboards. He's got his hands full.
So I was talking to the president of Power Color North America.
Yeah.
From back in the day where they kind of effed up.
Right.
So apparently, I already said the name of the company, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's too late. Damn it. So I was talking to the president of that company, and turns out in North America, at least, there's only a couple of people that handle the RMAs, and like the actual RMA office is like, you've been to my house, right? Yeah. It's it's like 800 square feet. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just the office.
And that doesn't
they don't really do any
surprise
work
me.
there. They just handle calls and stuff.
Well, if you think about it, like, you consider Newegg's return department used to be one person.
Yeah, Paul.
Right. Right. So if you consider that, and they have all different types of products, all different brands, you figure the subset of North American GPU sales from a single manufacturer, the RMAs aren't going to be that many, especially when it's not someone that's like EVGA sells a lot of cards in comparison to some of those lesser brands.
Yeah.
When availability is 100%.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I would be surprised if they staffed more than 10 people in an RMA department, or even 5.
It was literally like, so I was talking to the main guy, and it was like 2 other people. I'm not even joking.
And that's why they're like, please expect 2 to 3 weeks return period, you know?
Yeah. Like, that's where I was getting connections for cards in the early days. And of course, he wasn't even able to help me at a certain point, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. All right, so do you have anything else on that, Andrew?
No, that was just following up on Soul 7. I think said it in chat.
Okay, so timestamp that, because I think that'd be a good clip, actually.
Just wrap up. Let's wrap up chat and then move on.
Let's move on. All right. Soul 7 says no mouse buttons on phone. Left laptop at home. Oh, so I think depending on your phone, you could actually click and hold on the link, and then a menu will pop up, open a new tab. It might work, I'm not sure. Sorry, open in like Chrome or something like that. That way it'll just open the Chrome browser. Let's see. Y2K asks, how's the Kingpins doing? Oh, yeah, about that. There's no way to say this easily, Y2K Anonymous, but those Kingpins are now in the bank with the loan officer. They I gave them to them as collateral for a down payment on the house.
They're still running though, right?
Oh yeah. I gave them the whole computer. Okay, yeah, that's the down payment on the house.
They're in the safe deposit box, but they're plugged in.
Yeah, dude, that was a contingency. Like, it had to be plugged in.
Okay.
They want to make sure it's working till the end, right? They don't want to, turn it off and find out it doesn't work 5 minutes later, right? So yeah. So the Kingpins are no longer in my possession. The bank has them in a roundabout way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to choose one or the other. So I think that was a good choice. GPU, house, I don't know.
Little things in life, right? Yeah. GPU, house, car.
And I think it was probably a good time to make that move too.
Yeah, interest rates are still
Just
going up.
based on the market, all markets actually.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any easier to buy a house.
Nope. It's so when I bought my house, the interest rates actually went up, so it was not good, for sure.
Yeah.
Not good. I paid I'm paying like an extra $35,000 just in interest alone. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next subject. I'm gonna just this one's yours, I believe. It is about
let's talk about 5800X3D.
Yeah, let's go over that. I'm pretty excited about that.
So some of you who are following AMD CPUs will know that AMD will shortly be releasing the Ryzen 7 5800X3D. And you should know this because reviews have gone live as of April 14th. Now, what's interesting here is reviews went live April 14th. The product itself, the processor, doesn't come out into the retail market until April 20th. So you got a 6-day lead time. You got a 6-day lead time to familiarize yourself with the performance of the processor to decide if you want it. But you actually don't need to do that because I've pretty much summed it up here. So don't read any reviews. But I will give credit where credit's due. Most of these statistics that I'm going to be talking about come from the TechSpot review, which I thought they did a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. I read a couple reviews, and some of them just didn't do a great job talking about things that actually matter. So first, let's start with the differences between the 5800X3D, the new CPU coming out, and the 5800X. So they're both Ryzen Zen 3 processors on the AM4 socket, and they're both 8-core. So the difference between the 5800X3D, the difference versus a 5800X, is that the 3D adds what they have AMD is calling 3D cache, which is new level 3 cache, and it's 96 megabytes of L3 cache versus the 32 megabytes for the 5800X, which is a pretty significant difference if you do anything cache intensive. Mm-hmm. Now, what this is targeted for is specifically gamers. They want this to be like the best gaming chip you can get. There isn't a whole lot of benefit for that extra cache in most productivity workloads. Just quick back to the differences. The clock speed is 3.4 base, 4.5 boost on the 3D, and the regular 5800X is 3.8 and 4.7. So you do have higher clocks on the non-3D. So I thought that was a little bit interesting. But one big thing with the 5800X3D is that they're saying AMD has reached out to all the motherboard manufacturers to ensure that there is no overclocking of this chip. So they made it a point that this 3D cache that they're using is very sensitive to voltages, and that I believe it's 1.35 volts that it needs to be at. So you won't be able to change multiplier. You won't be able to change, what do they call it? Not front side bus, but the other number there. The thing that's normally locked at 100 megahertz. You're not going to be able to change that, which most people never do anyway. Yeah. And you're not going to be able to change the core-related voltages. There will be some other voltages you can change, and you can enable DOCP for memory and tweak memory, of course, which is a significant thing on Ryzen CPUs.
Yeah, it actually matters.
If you want to run faster DDR4, that is an option, but you won't be able to overclock this. It's the only Ryzen, as far as I know, ever with a locked multiplier effectively.
Watch, we're going to find out that this is a bunch of bull crap. They just didn't want people to buy.
Well, I have read that there is a BIOS but there is a BIOS in existence that has it unlocked. And some people, like Extreme Overclockers, part of MSI's Extreme Overclocking team, has been able to take this chip up to like 5 gigahertz with this special BIOS. Yeah,
like on LN2 or something, right?
Probably something extreme, yeah.
One thing I do know is you can change the Infinity Fabric. You can mess with that.
Yeah, so that is important because it's good to keep a ratio with your RAM if possible. If your Infinity Fabric is like 2400 and your RAM's 32, it's nice to run it 1-to-1 instead and boost up your Infinity Fabric, because if you have it not 1-to-1, it adds some latency. So just going over a few things. So these are the following tasks are tasks that appear slower than the 5800X. So this new CPU is slower in these tasks. Cinebench.
Oh, great.
Photoshop.
What?
Code Compile. Blender.
Oh my God.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, so here's the thing.
You just like mentioned a lot of productivity products, which is kind of concerning.
Well, this is not designed to cater to productivity.
Yeah.
You know,
for the gamers.
The fact is, these particular things don't really take advantage of that extra cache, and rather take a performance hit for having the lower base and boost clock speeds. So that's really where you're seeing that. You know, 8 cores is 8 cores, but if they're running slower, these programs are affected. But what the CPU does appear faster in, and I'm going to give the different frame rates in a second, but specifically gaming is what this is for. So the games that this appears faster than the 5800X in is Far Cry 6, Horizon Zero Dawn, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and the games that this is faster than a 12900KS, which is Intel's top gaming CPU, is Far Cry 6, Horizon Zero Dawn, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So it's faster not only than a 5800X in gaming for those games, but also a 12900KS, which is a serious gaming chip. You know, that's Intel's best right now. So let's go look at the frame rate real quick. So for Far Cry 6...
Also, just to point out, the 5800X 3D is not like a 5950X replacement.
We'll get to that.
What I'm trying to... I just want to point out real quick that it's significantly cheaper than the Intel version.
What? Then what?
The 5800X 3D.
Is cheaper than the 12900KS.
Yes, by like a lot.
Yes. Right. Yeah, and the whole platform, but we can debate that in a minute.
Yeah.
Far Cry 6, the 5800X 3D gets 180 frames per second. The 5800X got 120, and the 12900KS got 172. So the 5800X has a pretty good lead, significant lead over the 5800X, which is indicative of the rest of the Ryzen lineup, honestly. You know, none of the Ryzen chips, because that's the 8-core version. You could get a 5900X or a 5950X. Most games aren't taking advantage of 12-plus cores any more so than 8. You know, minimally that you'll see... like the 5900X will pull away a little bit because it has a higher boost frequency, but other than that, pretty comparable. Horizon Zero Dawn, you're looking at 207 for the 5800X 3D versus 181 for the 5800X or 201 for the 12900KS. So not a huge lead, but significant still. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we have 191 for the 5800X 3D, 160 for the 5800X, and 190 for the 12900KS. So kind of trading blows in that one for Shadow of the Tomb Raider versus the 12900KS, but still clearly the fastest Ryzen gaming CPU, 5800X 3D. There were some games that it wasn't the fastest in, so
but not by a lot, right?
What's that?
But not by a lot, right?
Well, here's the thing. TechSpot did testing for 8 games, and they averaged them all. So the data from that is the average frame rate for the 5800X 3D across 8 games was 194. For the 12900KS, it was 203. And for the 5800X, it was 155. So 194 to 203... it's a few percent.
I mean, it's a big improvement from the previous one they had, and it's not that much different than the... I mean, it's not worth almost double the price, is what I mean. It's not worth $300 more.
Right. So the price of this is going to be $449, which is the same price that the 5800X launched at. However, that was quite some time ago, because if you know, it's if you're just gaming, this might be a great option for you. If you just want a gaming machine, great option. If you're looking for more balanced machine, probably not your best bet, because we'll just take a look at a quick value comparison to other AM4 CPUs. These are Amazon prices. A 5800X is $339 right now on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
A 5900X 12 core is $384, and a 5950X is $509. Currently on Amazon,
where it was supposed to be all this time, honestly.
So look at that any way you want. You can get a 5800X for 110 less. You can get a 5950X for $60 more and have twice as many cores. So honestly, if you're not strictly gaming, this isn't the CPU for you. But there are some great deals on Ryzen CPUs right now.
Yeah, and I think it's a great CPU if you want to build, think of, most people play games, and they don't really do much production stuff, right? Like, they're not working on AI stuff. Yep. They're not working on Cinebench Premiere Pro or anything like that. And even if they are, they're not going to notice that much of a difference. But for their primary purpose of gaming, that's excellent.
Unless you're doing tasks that you find yourself sitting around waiting, this is a great CPU for gaming.
Yeah.
That being said, $449 seems like a lot of money for 8 cores in this day and age.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you got to wonder if it's worth waiting for AM5, which isn't that far away.
The Marine barracks from StarCraft, yep.
Yeah, AM5. But, you guys can make your own decision, because one thing that's really nice about this launch, reviews went live 6 days in advance before the actual launch of the product. Mm-hmm. Not something we see very often, like RTX 3050, for example. Reviews came out on launch day. If you don't know if you want it, too bad. You're going to buy it and find out if you want it. So
such a cash
having
grab.
Almost a week.
Such a cash grab.
Yeah.
If you know your product's good, why do you got to do crap like that? You only do that if you know your product's not good. I mean, I don't know why else would you do that.
I mean, maybe because they're fixing things right up to the last minute for reviewers, or they want to have that buffer maybe to do that, because it sounds like from a lot of reviewers that when they have products under NDA, let's say it comes out on a Monday, they might get the latest driver on a Saturday or Sunday. And they're like, well, great. Now all the data I produced is no longer valid.
We could just use a time machine, go 1 month into the future, do the review, and come back.
That's how it should be done, honestly.
Yeah. Or you could just wait.
And if you think NVIDIA doesn't have the AI to create a time machine, you are ignorant.
No, they already have one. That's why they know when all the crypto booms are going to be.
That's what Jensen's been doing. He's been communicating to us through a time portal.
But you do know the leather jacket's an integral part of the time machine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the flux capacitor.
Without that, he'd be torn to shreds through space travel.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, this is obvious. This is already known information. We just we don't talk about it. It's what we call a public secret. Okay.
Yeah, you guys need to Google it if you don't know.
All right.
Got it.
Yeah. So
no,
I just want to. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just to wrap this up, man, $449 isn't cheap.
No.
So
it's not.
It's just not. It's not. So the only reason to buy this, I think, this is, it's really a tough one for me to say. I think you should get the 5900X for $384. You're going to sacrifice some frames, yeah. But unless you're playing high frame rate 1080p, you're probably not going to notice at 1440p or 4K. But you will notice those extra cores if you do anything productivity related, or just want to do a virtual machine, or you're one of those people that really likes to multitask and have 20 things open at once. So that's my opinion. I think if you can get 12 cores for less than 8, absolutely do it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like they're saying in chat, $60 more will get you a 5950X.
Yeah, or if you want to pony up the extra money, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And that's
it should be like $50 to, I'd say if it was $300. No, wait, what is it? 400? Yeah. If it was $400, it'd be more palatable. But that
$399, yeah.
$399 just seems like that would be a fair market price. You know what I mean? I feel like that 50 is inflation.
Yeah, so the thing is they're competing with Intel, but they're also competing with their own lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. It's a better value, in my opinion, than Intel, but it's not necessarily a better value than some of their other options.
Exactly. It's kind of one of the worser value ones if you go like on other statistics that matter a little bit more, in my opinion. But this new 3D cache, so imagine they made this new 3D cache a standard thing in AM5, which they probably are going to do.
I think this is like a trial run.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, honestly, that's going to really improve things that where AMD has always kind of lacked. They've never really had the gaming.
I think they have to.
Huh?
I said, well, I think they have to.
Yeah.
Because Intel's gaming, well, not gaming, but 12th generation CPUs are pretty consistently good gaming CPUs.
True. Like, I don't know. So, like, there's another thing that we probably don't talk about much is, like, software compatibility with CPUs.
Right.
I don't know, man. I've had more problems after I switched to AMD than Intel.
It really depends, but I mean, Adobe Suite aside, I haven't had that many issues with AMD.
Yeah, I've had some issues, some weird issues, like the USB thing one was really annoying, and all those other things. Like, imagine this stream, right? If we actually still have those issues, this can happen at any time. This stream can just go black because all my USB devices just disconnect.
Right.
Amazing it hasn't happened yet, honestly, because it happened.
I had that issue too, and I was like, man, my cam link's broken. Oh, is my camera broken? Is it the HDMI cable? And it was the thing that was just supposed to work was the thing not working. And not only that, but like it took a little while for them to get a fix out.
Yeah, and we need that Steve Jobs magic. It just works. Please, just work.
Yeah. We're going to be streaming next week from M1 MacBook Pros.
Well, next week, actually, we're going to be streaming from the convention. Well, I'm going to be streaming from the convention center. Because I'll be, so at this time, I should be off shift. So I'll be off duty.
Yep.
All right. So is that all you had for the 5800X 3D?
Yeah. Why don't we check in on chat, see if anyone had anything to say about that topic.
I'm going to write some notes.
Yeah, let me see what they said. 5950X is king. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think 16 cores is pretty sweet. At 509, it's like, wow, 16 cores. Man, that's a lot of power. What was that, 749 new?
Yeah, because I paid that.
Yeah, so there you go.
Dude, I paid that 2 years ago almost. Man, I feel ripped off now.
Would you have rather been using, a Celeron in the last year?
Dude.
And then buy it for 509?
Who do you think I am? Do you think the only thing I put a Celeron in is...
And didn't you have a Intel Atom-based netbook until you bought that system?
Netbook?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, you had an Intel Atom.
You got me confused with some other guy, man. Okay. I did have an Intel Atom-based computer. The compute stick.
I did as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I wish they would make more because it's like literally this big and the whole dang computer's right there. Everything.
Could you have used that as a daily driver?
No. Absolutely not.
What about for like a week?
Okay, so it was great for like playing videos on the projector. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like it could. Okay, so I have the the M3 version, the higher end one. Mm-hmm. That's not Atom based, and that one you could actually play League of Legends on it. It was okay. You could even play Overwatch on it at like the lowest settings. But it was still sluggish. Like 4K was as best as could do. Like it played 4K video, no problem. Like it was a good computer. Like
right, and that's thanks to their hardware encoding, like hardware that's built in.
Yeah, like it was surprising. So a little computer this big was really good.
So in the chat, we got Winzard saying, do y'all think AM5 coming a lot sooner? Is this why it price drops?
I don't think so.
I don't think it's coming sooner than expected, but they probably still have a lot of wafers they want to cut up and get shipped and sold while they have some value, because these AM4 dies, well, I mean, I'd say they'd be worthless once AM5 comes out, but if you actually look at some of their recent CPUs, they're shipping some Zen 2 CPUs now, and in the past they've shipped older CPUs after new architectures come out as a different SKU, which is a good way to recoup some money. 1600 AF, which is basically 2600. But yeah, I mean, but in terms of the price drops, I think they just really want to sell what's left, because people, if they were going to buy AM4 and build on AM4, they've probably done it by now.
Yeah.
There's a few people left that are going to, and this price drop might just be enough to get them over the edge and say, okay, now's the time I'm going to build. I'm not going to wait for the next one because this seems like a great deal. And honestly, it is.
Yeah. And I just want to put my conspiracy theory in here. This, okay, I'll condense it down. So I believe these prices that we see on electronics are artificially inflated, and they know that. So now we're just going back to where they were supposed to be, in my opinion.
I don't know.
I mean, come on.
I don't think Ryzen. I thought Ryzen was fairly aggressively priced to begin with.
I mean, just all electronics in general. Like, okay, for example, a 3060 Ti. Even that LHR one, you still can't get it for $400. No way.
Right, but the GPU market is a little different.
CPUs, right?
Because the CPUs haven't dropped in price until maybe a month ago. Well, Micro Center always had the discounts, but like Amazon and Newegg, now they are cheap.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, remember in the good old days before all this happened, when the CPU came out, the prices never actually went up a lot. Like maybe just a little bit for like a week or two on eBay, and that was it. Okay. And then they would gradually start coming down. Like it was guaranteed it was going to go down. Like 100%. Yeah. They've only just recently started selling for retail normally, like 2 months ago. And how long ago did the 5950X come out? You see
what was it, 18 months?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying though? Like it's artificially been high this whole time. So
I mean, I guess. So, the thing is, it could be 10 years old. If nothing has come out since, it's going to hold a certain value.
True. Yes.
In anticipation for the next generation, prices will come down. Because people will be either selling off and the used market goes down and the new prices have to follow that trend or whatever else. But now I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just conspiracy theory from me, that's all.
Let me just finish up in chat.
Yep.
Let's see. New England Crypto, my brain hurts from troubleshooting. No more troubleshooting.
Hey, troubleshooting burns calories, so it means you can eat more.
Yeah, man, you'll be tired. You won't even be able to walk because your brain will exhaust all your resources of your body.
Dude, so, I'm actually quite
take
tired
it easy,
today.
Man. I think you gotta let the troubleshooting be done for the day.
Yeah. It was your first time on camera, so.
What else? If AM5 is DDR4, they can release it quick. AM5 should be DDR5.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that. Not DDR4. They're not gonna do that.
Yeah, no. Dave Collins also said, in reference to, I guess, those extra cores or a Plex server. Yeah, that's a really good use of
the
higher
stick?
CPU.
I think they were talking about the compute.
No, I think he was talking about Ryzen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think I think just having those extra cores, you can make your desktop into a Plex server.
Yep.
Or whether it's dedicated or just a function of your main computer. Ryzen chips are really good at doing media serving. I've done that before with the 3000 series Ryzen. Let's see, New England Crypto. Y2K Anonymous says to New England Crypto, that's how I feel when with one of my rigs, I can't get it to do anything better without it crashing.
That sounds like me in general.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, every time you try to do better, you just crash.
Stay where you're at.
Chat. And that's pretty much it for chat, I think.
All right,
I think
cool.
If I missed, just make sure you add TekShinji.
Yeah. If I miss anything, just at me or Mastermind. So let's just kind of go over the next two topics quickly, or at least mine's going to be quickly, because we're trying to make sure the stream's not too long. We're pretty tired tonight from all that work we did. We planned a 4-hour event and turned into an 8. So, all right. So next topic, I'm just going to touch on this real quickly. Elon Musk, that we all know and love, he wants to buy Twitter. Buys a 9% stake. Suggested that he would, do a bunch of stuff. Then board's like, hey, you want to be a board member? And he's like, nah, I'm good. I'll just buy the whole thing. And then they're like, well, I mean, you could just become a board member, that'd be cool. Hint, hint. And he's like, nah, I'm good. Because if you become a board member, you can't own more than 14% of the stock. That's your limit. He's like, yeah, I'll just buy the whole thing. And the board's like, oh, crap. We don't want that happening. We're all old people, and we don't want new people coming in here and taking it from us. I want to buy it and go private, right? They're like, okay, we need to come up with a plan. So they go, oh, let's make a poison pill. So you guys are probably wondering, what is this poison pill? Well, it's a pill that you take that's made out of poison, and then it kills you. No, just joking. So it's a system that they're implementing to where if any individual person or individual entity in this case buys more than 15% shares of the Twitter stock, it will automatically trigger a sell, like a sale rather, of their stock at like a reduced price to encourage other people to buy more to offset that 15% stake. In other words, if you buy more than 50%, the price of your stock is going to go down because there's going to be more of it. They're just going to create more and deflate the stocks.
Automatic dilution.
Yeah, it'll dilute the stock. Now, this applies to anybody, not just Elon Musk. So that's what they're saying. And now Elon Musk was like,
what's the percentage that triggers that?
More than 15%.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5. So now Musk is kind of like, he kind of came at them. So it was like worth like 38 billion after, his already 9% investment or something like that. He offered like 50 something, I think, billion. And he's like, you know what? Cash, take it or leave it, in his usual fashion. And the board's like, nah, we're good. No, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks, right? So I don't know exactly what his plans are, but he just did a TED Talk. And allegedly in the TED Talk, when he was confronted or asked about this, he said it was basically about truth. And like he wanted the platform's algorithm to be open source, like on GitHub. He wanted to be that public. He wanted to know why certain tweets are being demoted or promoted, things like that, right? And maybe even like an edit button, all things we know, arguably are in a good direction, right? Now, as for one of these platforms being owned by one person, a private entity as Elon Musk, I don't know. I have mixed opinions about that. Elon Musk, not so bad. What if Putin owned it, right? So that's kind of scary. So that's what's going on with that. In the TED Talk, when they asked him if he had a plan B, whether they don't want to go through, he said then he'll just sell everything. So, I mean, that's kind of like, almost like, that's kind of, the FCC will probably not be cool with that, because after he bought it, the stock went up like 20-30%. So if he were to just sell right now, it's a pump and dump, and that's kind of illegal. So, I mean, he got the attention. We're talking about it right now, right? Everyone's talking about it, and I guess it worked in a sense. I don't know. Elon Musk is kind of a radical, so that's been what's been happening if you've been living under a rock with Twitter and Elon Musk. And that's really all I have to say about that. There's a lot more intricate detail, but that's basically about what's happened in that story. What does this mean? So It depends on who you are. Like, I use Twitter only because I kind of have to, because, social media, blah, blah, blah. It could potentially be that he buys it and he changes Twitter to something a little different than what it is now. Could be a lot of things, but I don't know. I really don't know and understand this pan. Andrew, you got any feedback on that? What do you think?
I mean, let's face it, any stock he's attached to seems to do pretty well.
Yeah.
It's an interesting situation. It's almost like one person owning like
AOL Instant Messenger,
like every newspaper or something. No, like it's like someone owning something that's so integral to communication and information. It's I don't know exactly. I haven't read much about it, so going off what you said is basically what I'm going off of. But
what do you think? What do you think his plan is? How about that? Why do you think he's doing it? Yeah, hard question, isn't it? Yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, that's all I want. I just want to bounce it off you real quick.
If he has a plan, I honestly don't think it would be any worse than whatever future Twitter would have otherwise. It's sort of like what's best for the people who use it is the question. Not necessarily if the platform is going to be better or worse, but if it affects people in a positive way. I think his company, let's say Tesla is an automotive company. It's really like a computer company. It's really like a data company. And Twitter would clearly be a data-rich company.
About its users, for sure.
Right. So I think that's sort of something he's trying to get a little deeper into, in that, especially when you're trying to sell a product, kind of knowing everything about people makes it a whole lot easier to cater to their needs. And by needs, I mean desires and maybe things they don't actually need. But
we think you might like a Tesla.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a whole lot of responsibility, honestly. And I'm sure he's prepared for that, but I'm not sure that we can trust anyone with that much responsibility.
With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying we can trust the board, but there is some diversity there.
Yeah. So one example I kind of thought about was, I kind of liken it, kind of similarity to it to, remember in Batman where they had that system that tapped into every cell phone with echolocation or something, and they could like basically see where everyone's at any time? Remember that system? Right. Remember Morgan Freeman's like, this is too much power for one person to have? And then...
Yeah, but isn't that in every Tesla?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And in every phone, So in the movie, Morgan Freeman's like, this is too much power for one person to have. And he only agreed to help Wayne if the system would be destroyed after they were done using it, so it can't be abused. And yeah, he said the code and it destroyed itself. I kind of think about that, like one person holding all that power. Because I mean, when it comes to it, it is power, right? Data is power. So yeah. Anyways, it can be just quick thoughts on that.
Yeah. It's all about how it's used, and having it entrusted to essentially one person, even if they have the best intentions now, that can change over time. Or if they have the best sense of what to do with it, that can change over time. What they think is a great idea in the future might actually not be. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of interesting, but yeah, that's all I really had about that. I don't want to drag it out too long because we got a lot of stuff to cover. Andrew, you might want to compress what you have at the very end here.
Yeah, why don't I just hit the last topic real quick, and then we'll bulk chat into the last few minutes.
Yep.
All right, so there is a report that Microsoft is considering adding advertisements to games, Xbox games specifically. So here's the deal. Microsoft is considering adding in-game ads to free-to-play Xbox games. So that they're doing a new advertising program that would allow ads to appear in-game for specifically free-to-play games. And these ads could appear within the game itself, for example, covering billboards that you see in a racing game. So the question is, are they going to follow through with this? Is this more experimental? And how will gamers react? So it's a kind of a weird situation to be in, because so much of the information we take in is already ad filled.
Mm-hmm.
So why not games? Why aren't games full of ads? And you can say, sure, some of them already are, but like, why not? Why not have ads in games? Especially, if they're free. Would you rather play a game for free if it had ads in it, or would you rather pay for the ad-free copy? It's kind of like, would you rather, any other service, like let's say Hulu, would you rather pay for the no ads or take the cheaper version that has ads, like television does? I remember back in 2007, going way back, when I was a young gamer, and the original Far Cry became free to play through Ubisoft, but between loading levels and loading the game initially, it had McDonald's ads. So every load level had a McDonald's advertisement. And honestly, I played that and I was so frustrated just seeing McDonald's stuff that I stopped playing it. I didn't play through the game.
Ad after ad after ad.
Yeah, it was really annoying. This campaign seems to be a little different in that it kind of embeds it into the game environment potentially. Like if you were playing Cyberpunk and you went up to the vending machine and it said Coke, I wouldn't really mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But if a main integral character in the game is actually an advertisement for Coke, oh man, right. I really need you to get me a Coke. A refreshing crisp Coke. Otherwise, we can't continue this game. In fact, the entire level is contingent on this part.
All the cutscenes are sensationalized ads. Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to say black or white if I would rather play a free game with ads or pay for one without knowing what the ads are and how it's done. So, kind of just summed it up, but. Interesting to see if Microsoft follows through with this and if it creates basically a new genre of free-to-play ad-filled games, which, oh man, gamers are diversifying for sure.
100%.
So there are gamers that are going to have effectively no budget. Younger gamers or people that just don't want to consider it an investment but still want to have a good time, and maybe they don't see the difference of having ads in games versus watching TV shows or scrolling through Facebook. You see ads wherever you go online, so what's the difference? Man, and I sound like I'm supporting ads, but it's just the world we live in. I'm not a fan of advertising in any sense, honestly. Yeah, so you guys let us know in chat what you think of that, because I don't know. If it's a $60 game and it's free to play, if it has ads in it, I'm probably going to go with the free version, because, you can only afford so many $60 games.
Or Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. If it's an alternative to Game Pass, probably go with Game Pass, right? If all these free-to-play games are available on Game Pass for $10 or $15 a month, depending on your plan, whatever, I'd probably pay the subscription for that. But if I have a game library, which is it seems like that's becoming a thing in the past, with services like Game Pass becoming more and more mainstream, we'll see what happens. But So my opinion is I don't think ads in games are going to be as rare as they are now, but I also don't think it's going to be this life-changing thing for people if they were to play free-to-play games. Like when I played that Far Cry with my McDonald's ads, it changed the experience of playing the game.
Yep, 100%.
Because it was so shilly and like forcing it down your throat. But if it's embedded in the game and it's like, and they did mention that they're not using like Bing data to target ads. It would be like embedded, like whatever. I think same experience for everyone. So nothing too crazy in terms of advertising. Like advertising that's targeted that we see on the internet is kind of, in my opinion, a worse threat.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like a lot of these ads are just scams, right? So, yeah. I think it's kind of surprising it hasn't happened yet. Like, have you seen the movie Ready Player One? Like, what was...
I have not.
Oh, okay, so in the movie, do you know about Ready Player One?
No.
So Ready Player One is the metaverse, except it's like hyper realistic and it's taken off, and there's like trillions of dollars flowing through it. Like, it's a real place. You could go to work in the metaverse and like get paid real money. Like, in fact, if you were in debt, you could go pay it off by working in the metaverse at a cube farm. So
okay.
There's a big secret to the game. If you get it, you get to unlock the source code or whatever, right? So what the company wanted to do that had all the, like, when they unlock the code, if they unlock the code, was to put ads in. They're like having meetings of how much ads they could put in front of you before you get a seizure. Like, that's how intense the ads were, because originally the game was totally ad free. So like this is a game that like literally 1/8 of the world played. Like, as many active Facebook users are, it was that big in that game, in that movie.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, like, ads everywhere, just like inserted in the game. And that kind of is a similarity to like, why is there not ads yet, right? Can you imagine like you be playing a game and an NPC comes up to you, "Adventurer, please help me get a delightful, delicious, tasty Coke. If you don't help me with this, I will die." You know, like ads that are just baked into the storyline.
I thought that would be cool, but like, honestly, I don't drink Coke. I don't care.
Okay, fine.
But,
something more obscure. "Adventurer, we have detected you are ladies man 1112229. Please help me get these Tampacks from," you know, like totally like off advertising, like not accurate to who you are.
But like, the thing is, the narrative of games is in like 99% of cases fictional, but we'll watch television shows that are fictional that have like actual products in them. Yeah. Because, you know, they got paid to feature, you know, put that on a table
Heroes.
or drink that or eat that. What's that?
TV show Heroes.
Yeah.
That's a classic one.
So why is it any different for games? You know what I mean?
Because games, man, I'm gonna get all worked up. Games are for nerds. Stay the F out, you damn investors.
I mean, I feel like there's a huge difference between ads that are served to kids, and maybe games kind of get grouped into that category because like they don't want kids seeing all these ads or whatever, or being like having their mind manipulated. But instead they'll watch like Nickelodeon and need like crazy $300 Nerf guns.
They do get expensive too.
They do. Yeah.
I'll just say one thing to that, and we'll just end with that. Have you seen the TV show Futurama?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember the episode where they talk about ads, and in the Futurama there's no ads anywhere. Why? Because they passed a law saying they could put ads directly into your brain in your dreams.
Right.
So there was no ads anywhere else because that was like way more effective. So it's like, they're gonna put ads at us somehow. Now we don't have to see them everywhere. They're just in your dream.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Especially when you don't notice. Like, you know, it's like when you go on YouTube, everyone has a different YouTube experience.
Yeah.
That's been catered to them for years and years, and it's just crazy. So like, if ads are treated the same way, you could have a completely different sense of the world.
Good point. Like,
You know what I
imagine
mean?
all the people watching YouTube videos of us rich Americans in like starving countries. Sorry, people that have less means in countries that are, not as well developed. Like, can you imagine what they would think of us?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
But I mean, like, let's say that like two people just like two twins separated at birth, and one of them, like their whole life, they're getting ads for like weight loss medication, and then the other one's getting fast food ads the entire time.
Dude,
they're going to have completely different outlooks on life.
This is getting like some Black
This is
Mirror
too
stuff.
philosophical.
This is getting dark.
All right, I think we need to call it a night.
All right, I'll just go over to the chat real quick, and we'll call it a night. Wow, that's some dark stuff, Andrew. I wouldn't even go there.
Yeah,
It's like some human psychological experimentation. Let me just put a timestamp in here. All right, we'll go into chat response. We'll read chat, and then we'll have a closing. So I'm gonna go back up. Let's see. Hit that like if you haven't yet. Yep. Oh, we were talking about ads for a little bit. So I played a joke on people when Soul 7 said ads, more ads and everything. I clicked the insert ad button into the live stream. So what that does is it stops everyone's live stream if you don't have YouTube Premium, and it forces you to watch an ad to continue the live stream.
wow.
I just did that as a joke. I didn't think it actually worked that well, but everyone kind of responded. Soul 7 says, "Oh, okay, what the heck? YouTube just sent me into an ad." Yes, that was me.
You should have pre-recorded ads promoting other videos on your channel that you can just play midstream.
Yeah, like, so by the way, guys, the secret to making more money, this has been brought to you by...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was a joke, and I didn't think it worked that well. I guess a lot of you don't have YouTube Premium, so that's what that does. I press that button just for fun.
Thanks for that ad revenue, though.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We got like probably 2 cents from that, maybe.
That would be nice.
There's only like 13 people watching, so. David Collins says, YouTube same way. I'm so sick of Geico ads. Yeah. So I'm sick of those ads too. I pay for YouTube Premium to save time, honestly. It's a time sink to watch, content from other people with ads in it. So it's very important to me that you spend my time efficiently. And for me, yeah, it's like $14 a month. So it's like not cheap, honestly. It's kind of a rip. But for me, it kind of makes sense. If you have a family plan and you put people on it that aren't your family, that's even better.
Are there perks you get that go beyond not seeing ads?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. If you have YouTube Premium and you watch my channel, your return to me is like 17 times higher than watching an ad, actually.
All right, yeah, then I don't really want YouTube Premium.
Yeah, so that's the one.
I don't want to come back to this channel.
Well, that's the first thing. The second thing is you could this is things that are just stupid stuff that they did that. Anyways, you can watch videos with the phone screen off, so you can listen to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can play them in the background. You don't have to have them on your... It's so frustrating. You can't multitask, right? You can download videos and watch them later. You can, ad-free, which is a big plus. There's a couple of other features, but those are ones I use every day. So I kind of had to have it. Let's see. Fixation 500 says, I have to run, gents. My house is Thunderdome. My kids are all hopped up on Mountain Dew and diet pills. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. What have you done, Andrew?
Oh, no. I've created, what is it?
Artificial Black Mirror.
Dystopian universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soul 7 says, he half naked ASMR woman. What is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't even know what that is.
I'm not really sure.
I don't know what that would be. They're talking about heroes. Yes. Anonymous Y2K says Earth 2. LOL. JK. Yeah, that was when we were talking about Ready Player One. New England Crypto says, dude, that's a great idea. Make your own dang commercials. David Collins, I have premium as well. Yeah, so David Collins. So let me tell you about a hack that will actually help me a lot and cost you absolutely nothing other than a little bit of your time. So David Collins, this is a hack that some YouTubers have done, and they've done a lot of financial benefit at almost no cost to the viewer. So if you go to my live streams and just download them, then hit play on it, then go to the end, and then delete it, you have effectively earned me ad revenue for that whole hour in a matter of seconds at 17 times the rate. So if you have YouTube Premium...
Are you allowed to say that?
YouTube has not stopped this. It's still active. I checked. So
okay, but are you gonna get demonetized and deleted?
Dude, there's like freaking YouTube analytic videos on this that actually advertise this, so I don't think so.
There's a team of YouTube employees watching your stream right now.
Oh, right. Okay, that's what
you said.
That's why
you
we
said
have
the
10
key
viewers.
word. Someone just got woken out of bed to address this issue.
That's why there's 10 people watching, because half of them are YouTube employees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys do have Premium, if you go download any long video, it works best on long videos, and then you just basically hit play. It basically generates revenue for me, and it costs nothing to you. And I mean, like I said, that's kind of a hack, and it's not probably the best way. I mean, I appreciate you guys watching, and that's what I want. I don't really want you guys to go out of your way to do stuff like that, but that is a way to hack it in a sense and make more revenue. Yeah, so YouTube Premium viewers, 17 times the return versus, so I need 17 people watching the same ad for one YouTube Premium viewer. It's that good. I mean, it makes sense, because instead of the whole wheel of ads paying for it, then getting a piece of that, it's I am paying YouTube directly. So they could skip the middleman and they could, increase more revenue.
Yep.
Yeah, I can actually, so Andrew, you want to just keep checking chat? I'll actually check a statistic real quick.
ASMR women thing was in response to the built-up video algo over years and years. Got it. Didn't the spiffing Brit make a whole video on it?
I think that's where I saw it, actually.
The YouTube Premium thing?
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it. Okay.
When crypto says no more pennies for you.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out how much revenue I've made on YouTube Premium. Because it's like way more. Well, way more by ratio. Huh?
Dave Collins asks, can you only download on mobile?
I think so, yeah. You can't download on desktop.
You might be able to if there's a YouTube app for Windows. I'm not sure if there is or not. There's Netflix and Prime. There might be a YouTube app for Windows, in which case maybe. But most people use it in the browser. So
yeah, I believe it's... Oh, wow. You guys really like my 3090 Ti Founders Edition video. It's #1 now. Thank you, everybody. That video was not the hardest video I made, but I did put a lot of work into it, and it was very expensive to produce, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Actually, no, really, like, I'm looking for something. I actually do appreciate it. Let me try to find it, because it was, like, significant. So, all right, in the last 28 days, my YouTube ad revenue from Premium was $9.59. And you might go like, that's nothing. It is, but with per viewer, it's $9.59. Okay, so my channel has had 39,000 views in the last 30 days. Okay, and of that, only a small fraction of that, less than 1%, was YouTube Premium subscribers, and that small percent has netted me $9.21. So think about that. Just think about the ratio on that. It is insane. Yeah. So 32,000 views, less than 1% of that was premium, like some fraction of a percent. It doesn't even show it actually, and that got me $9.21 in revenue.
Yeah,
that's just insane. So yeah, YouTube Premium is the way to go if stuff like that. But that's not a reason to buy it or anything like that. I'm just talking from as a creator standpoint that we do like YouTube Premium viewers a lot.
Yeah, Soul7 says you can get a browser extension to download YouTube videos. Yes, but that is not going to benefit the YouTube Premium members or the creators that Premium members are. That's a different thing.
That's different. I'm talking specifically you download the video, and after you download it and play it and go to the end, or something like that. I gotta go double check. But if you do that, it counts as a full view, and I get all that revenue in that, like, instantly, like you, as if you watch the whole thing straight through.
Yep.
So it really does help. I don't know why YouTube hasn't fixed that, but yeah. So like basically this, I'll just go into it real quick, then we'll end. This guy made a video that's like 6 hours long, and he just told everyone to do that, and that video became his most profitable video he ever made in all time, ever. Which is it's a nice hack, right? David Collins, no. If you are a premium subscriber, I don't get shafted. I get 17 times the return for you watching. Anyone with premium, that is. By the way, this is not an endorsement or premium. I'm talking about it from the creator standpoint. I only have it because, you know, the benefits are, you know, worth it to me. For most people, I think you can afford like 5 seconds and you can skip the ad. So, all right. This stream's been going pretty long. We're both pretty tired because we did do a bunch of work at New England Crypto's house this morning, which was a lot of fun actually. So, make sure you get subscribed to his channel, New England Crypto. If you're still here, go ahead and drop that channel back into live chat and check it out because he's got a lot of great content. He's a really cool guy, and we got a video coming out soon. Trademark. TekShinji soon means like within a month, somewhere in that range. More than 2 weeks, within a month, right? So it'll be coming out sometime soonish. Be a good video. It's a problem that we all have had, all of us. At least once.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's part of the journey of being either a tech enthusiast, a cryptocurrency mining enthusiast, anything. When you start to kind of expand and try new things, you're gonna hit some roadblocks, and it's a learning experience, and then you have to learn from that experience.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of just last thing for the night is there's no such thing as failure. There's only times when you don't want to learn something. So every time you fail at something, if you learn the reason why you failed, then it wasn't a failure, right? Like there's a department at Google that it's like their special black ops or whatever. They have hundreds of thousands of failed products. But out of that department came things like the Pixel phone, the Soli radar, Google Glass, like all these innovative things. Well, Google Glass was before its time, arguably, but all these innovations came out of there. And guess what? They get bigger and bigger bonuses every year, even though they make hundreds of thousands of failures, because that's what you learn, what doesn't work, and you can move on to the next thing. David Collins says, TekShinji Master Run, Andrew, great Steam guys. I was able to catch it live. Yeah, thank you so much for coming by, man. I appreciate you being here. Raheem says, nursery rhymes with ads. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Newton Clifton says, much appreciated. I'm a better person. Minor after that mess. Soul7 says, it's like a marriage. That's funny. All right, guys. So we're going to probably close it. Andrew, do you have anything else?
No, man, it's been a good stream. Appreciate you guys all being here. Went a little longer than we thought, but we're glad you all hung out.
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone being here, especially those that stuck to the very end, because you guys do make this all worth it. And of course, a little shill. If you guys aren't already members of the TekShinji community Discord, go ahead and get joined. It's down in the description below. And thank you to everyone that came tonight. I appreciate you all being here, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good night, everyone.